ULI Intercity Press, de parte de la Coalición Libre para acceso a Naciones Unidas.
The Free Coalition for Access, thank you for this press conference. We do hope that you will talk during the stakeout in order to answer questions during this month. One question in Spanish and then in English. On the methods of work on the debate on the 11th, the country Eritrea, you're the chair of that committee, they say that they should not be under sanctions because they are not doing what they're accused of doing. Now, in national capacity or as chair, what do you think of their argument now in English?
Yemen. There's a lot of talk about the Yemen, peace talks, intra-Syrian peace talks. On Yemen, we hear a lot less. What's your understanding of the status of the envoy, Ismail Ould Cheikh Ahmed, bringing the parties together? Do you think the report on possible war crimes and the Saudi-led coalition airstrikes will be taken up at any point by the Council? And do you think that the U.S., UK, others that are assisting that coalition, is there enough oversight of the civilian harm that's taking place in the air campaign on Yemen? Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you. Before anything else, I hope, as President of the Security Council, to have greater contact as possible with you, the press, because each time we come out of a meeting of the Security Council, there's a healthy practice. We've always done that in that way. So we'll do what's possible without taking up too much time. But on Yemen, in my capacity as President of the Security Council, I can say that all Security Council members are closely following the events which have been escalating and have been affecting the civilian population, which finds itself in an awful situation in the bombing campaign and the action on the ground of the two parties to the conflict. Now, it's our hope that Mr. Ahmed, when he gives the briefing, will give a better picture of what's taking place there. As President of the Security Council, I can't say in advance what the positions will be of the various members of the Security Council. This will be in close consultations, but I can say that there is a growing concern on this question, and what you say, that the issue of Syria is being dealt with on a constant basis, and the issue of Yemen is not the case with Yemen. So this is something which we have raised, that there is a lack of balance in terms of the way the Security Council deals with some issues. Sometimes some issues are pushed forward for political motives, and therefore they're high on the agenda. They're always discussed in public, and then there are others which are on the back burner, which are reserved. So today we propose that in the Yemen briefing, that the consultations on Yemen should be in the form of a briefing, so that we can hear about the situation from the special envoy, the Secretary General, and that everybody can hear, and that we can get a picture of the situation over there, what's the actual situation. And Mr. O'Brien, we're also asking that he should take part in that briefing. So on behalf of OCHA, he would be able to explain what the situation is, what is the humanitarian situation in Yemen. Now, with regard to Eritrea, I can't put forward any national position on this, but it is specifically one of the points that we wish to introduce in the debate and on how we work. The sanctions committees, since We, as chair of the Somalia-Eritrea Committee and also the Darfur Committee, we've promoted the idea that the countries under sanctions should speak to Security Council members and be heard, and that including the countries of the region, they should have the opportunity to say how the sanctions are affecting individual countries and the region as a whole. Eritrea is one of the most relevant examples. It's a in terms of these sanctions. We raised in the Security Council the idea that there should be a political goal. These sanctions committees should have a political goal, and that they should move and evolve as the situation changes. In the Horn of Africa, the situation is changing on an accelerating basis. Somalia, Eritrea, they are affected by the advance of terrorist groups, Al-Shabaab, and the war in Yemen, Al-Qaeda, which are destabilizing factors throughout the region. So they cannot, the sanctions committees cannot remain on the same track. They must evolve in line with the changing political situation in the region. Of course, we, and I believe nobody, would like to see their own country under sanctions, or see any country under sanctions. And the sanctions committees are more definitive in nature than any tribunal on the planet. If there are sanctions are imposed and nobody can do anything about it, but we need to discuss this. We need to see if there's any meaning to this, how we can help to ensure the peaceful solution of conflicts. Thank you for your question.